everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mary Odedele. I am a lawyer and a real estate consultant. On this YouTube channel, I share videos on legal matters, real estate, and general life matters. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Subscribe right now. Please do so. If you're a new subscriber, I appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of this YouTube channel. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back to watch my videos. So I started a series about grants for divorce in Nigeria. So I've been able to I dealt with 5 grants in about 3 videos. So in this video, I'll be discussing the other 3 grants for divorce in Nigeria. I think it is necessary for me to mention that the only grant for divorce in Nigeria, for the solution of marriage in Nigeria, is that the marriage has broken down irretrievably. So that is the general term. So how can you prove that your marriage has broken down irretrievably? That is how we have this 8 grants. So, and I also find it necessary to mention that you don't need to prove all of these 8 grants. You need just 1 grant. If you can prove 1 grant, the court definitely grants you your application, obliged you, and dissolve your marriage. So you don't need to prove all the 8 grants. You can just prove 1 or 2. And if you feel you can prove the 8 grants, it's just be a lot of work for your lawyer. And I know your lawyer will definitely advise you appropriately. So without further ado, let's dive into it. It is a presumption of death. This is not the kind of presumption that you just think because you're not your partner is no longer functioning in your life, or is no longer having these obligations or responsibility, and just think, okay, it's as well as he's dead. That is not what we're talking about. Okay, legally speaking, it means when you have not seen or heard from your partner for a continuous period of 7 years, at least 7 years. So it is possible that you've not been able to see or hear from your partner for about 10 years, 8 years. It is a good grant for you, but the least period is 7 years. So if your partner is not reaching out, you don't know the location where your partner is, a continuous period of 7 years immediately preceding the application, that is, before you file that petition, there must be a continuous period of 7 years that you've not been able to see or hear from your partner. So it is a good grant for you. So what is noteworthy when you want to come under this particular grant is that it must be a list of 7 years and it must be a continuous period. Here you just need to do the calculation. If your partner for about 3 years you did not see your partner, and all of a sudden he or she came home and you saw her, you saw him, and a lot of things happened, and the partner went again. Probably a situation whereby you have a partner that actually travels a lot and lives in Nigeria all by yourself, because you don't know where to you don't know the particular location. He or she is in the other country, and you don't know phone calls, no text messages. He or she is not sending money to you. That is, there is nothing happening between you two. No messages, no contact, no visitation. So maybe between that 3 years, your partner comes home, travels back. That period must be a continuous period of 7 years. It is very, very important. So if you have a calculation, probably you've not been able to see your partner, you actually calculate a period of 8 years, and probably during that 8 years, your partner actually came home once or twice. That can actually make that grant. The grant will not avail you. Definitely your lawyer will actually advise you. So you need to make sure that that 7 years, it is a continuous period. That is, you do not set your eyes on him or her for that 7 years period. Okay, so the court can actually presume that your partner is actually dead. Okay, so if you can prove very well to the court that you don't know the location of your partner, and you've actually tried everything possible for you to locate your partner, to have a conversation, to visit him or her, and all of that prove abortive. So the first point, it must be a continuous period of 7 years. Second point is you must have made attempts to look for a partner. So if all of that, you can prove it to the court that you made attempts, you could not reach your partner, and all of that, so the court can actually grant your application for dissolution of your marriage. Okay, so the court will definitely make an order, decree nisi. Marriage is still valid until 3 months. Okay, so at the expiration of that 3 months, that order will become absolute. So it is possible that during that window of that 3 months that you get in touch with your partner. So all you need to do is to go back to the court for the court to actually revoke that decree nisi. Okay, so it is very possible for you to go back to the court to revoke that decree 9 So that is the presumption of death, which is the fifth ground for dissolution of marriage. I have had a lot of news where people say and discuss that sometimes the husband can just neglect the wife and just travel and all of that. So if your partner travels like that, you can't reach him, no communication, he's not sending money to you, he's not acting of his children, and you don't even know where to look for, where to actually visit in order to just see him. So it is possible for you to come under this grant.
So the sixth point, failure to comply
with restitution of conjugal rights for a continuous period of at least 1 year. That is just a long sentence. Basically, it means that your partner, probably there was a point in time where you approached the court that your partner has actually refused to consummate the marriage. Your partner is not having sexual intercourse with you. So the court can actually make an order directing your partner to have sexual intercourse with you. I know it's quite funny because a lot of people, you hardly see these kind of cases in court because we are of the opinion that we don't iron our dirty linen outside. So, but it's actually a provision of the law. So if the court make that pronouncement directing your partner to have to consummate the marriage, to have sexual intercourse with you. So if your partner failed for a continuous period of 1 year, so that is the failure to comply with the court order to consummate the marriage for conjugal rights to actually continue between you two. So if that happens for a continuous period of 1 year, see, all of these things are very, very important. You are not a lawyer, you may not necessarily need to know all of this information, but for the sake of people that actually love to do some sort of research before they approach a lawyer, this is just for you. So because it is very, very important, it is not that your partner fails to have sexual intercourse with you for about 4 months and you think you can come under this grant. No. Or probably your partner does not have sexual intercourse with you, or your partner had sexual intercourse with you for just once in a year. You can't come under this grant because it must be a continuous period of at least 1 year. So the fact that it happens that sexual intercourse happened once, it is enough for you, it is enough defense for the respondent, that is your partner. So your partner can always come through his lawyer and say, my lord, yes, for a long period of time we've not had sexual intercourse, but within the space of this past 1 year, we actually did once. So it will not avail you, this grant will not avail you in that situation. It is very important for you to check very well before you come under any of this grant. And I said it earlier that the good part is you don't need to prove all of these grants. You just need just one. If you want to, fine, but all you need to do is to prove one. And if you can prove it convincingly to the court will definitely grant you the application for divorce.
So to the eighth point,
which is the last grant, it is when parties has lived apart for a continuous period of 3 years. So this is somehow related to the other grant of when parties has lived apart for a continuous period of 2 years. So it's still almost the same thing. So if you are there, but for that one, there is a consent between the parties. When the husband and the wife has lived apart for a continuous period of 2 years, so there is a sort of consent between the parties in that particular grant. But yeah, not actually that there is consent. So if
approved to the court
that you and your partner has lived apart for a continuous period of 3 years, continuous period, so that's what that is very, very important. Okay, it is very, very important. So continuous period of 3 years, not that two people lived apart for 4 years, but in that space of 4 years there was a time you and your partner you were together for a period of 1 month. That can actually make your application to fail. So it is important for you to follow the wordings of this provision of the law, continuous period of 3 years. So that is all, and that is all about grants for divorce in Nigeria. Maybe a quick recap. Let us just do a quick recap about the 8 grants for divorce in Nigeria. Let's do it. 1, we have adultery. 2, we have desertion. 3, willful and persistent refusal to consummate the marriage. 4, we have the presumption of death. 5th, we have when parties has lived apart for continuous period of 2 years before filing the application. 6th, when parties has lived apart for a continuous period of 3 years preceding the filing of the application. 7th grant, when your partner has behaved in such a way that no reasonable man will expect you to continue to live with your partner. So that is the 7th point. 8, failure to comply with restitution of conjugal rights for a continuous period of at least 1 year. So those are the 8 grants you can come on or any of this under any of these grants for your divorce in Nigeria. If you have any question, my DM is open. You can drop it in the comment section or via my email address. You'll find that in the description box. Thank you so much, and I will see you in another video.